Hello and welcome to your Wednesday Advanced Training Call. My name is Jared Krebs. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. And before we bring on our guest speaker for today, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your business. Number one, there will be ups and downs, just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of Usana or the comp plan or your upline. Success or failure is up to you. Number three, the goal is for you to become independent and be an independent leader and example for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekends, do it, review it, and then make adjustments. Plan, do, review, adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to develop the skills to be competent at this type of business. It's going to take 3 years to develop a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to develop a significant full-time income and 7 years to become world-class. It can happen faster, but it does take time. Number six, it takes consistent work and hustle. You've got to be consistent just like you would be at a job. Number seven, you're going to have to grow and get outside of your comfort zone. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. The grass is greener where you water it. And number 10, this is a long-term game. Usana is 27 years strong with over $2.5 billion paid to its associates. It's given me and my wife a full-time income for over a decade because it works if you work. And bonus tip, amateurs sell products, but professionals sell the vision. Make sure you're inviting your guests to watch these interviews, your existing associates, get them onto these calls, your existing clients, let them see that Usana is not just a great product, it's also a great opportunity. And few have done it as well as Ruby director, Janelyn Marcelo. Janelyn, welcome to the show.
Aloha.
Aloha. Oh my gosh, I love your background.
Thanks. I wanted to get out of Hollywood for a minute, in my mind at least.
Are you in Hollywood? Is that where you live now?
Yeah, well, okay, that sounds bougie, right? Hollywood. So really, I call it Hollyhood.
Hollywood?
Where I live, it's where all the helicopters fly.
No.
It's pretty crazy over here.
Wow. That's amazing, though, that you're in, like, the California vibe. So really neat, really neat. I do like your background.
Thank
Now,
you. Thank you.
There's several new people on this call that don't know your story. But I just want to tell everybody that Janelyn is very well respected in the company, over a decade with Usana. She's also a Celavive ambassador, which is one of I think only 30 or 40 reps around the United States have been asked to do that. And she's a dear, dear friend of mine and Crystal's. She was there for Crystal. Thank you for being there for Crystal. When Crystal was going through her cancer treatments and taking her and spending time with her and doing all the things you did. You're such a sweet friend. We love you so much. And today we want to hear your story.
Oh, man. Well, first off, with Crystal, I was reminiscing on that too. Like, she spent, I think, a week here. And I just remember you were talking to me about Crystal, and you introduced me, and that she was a makeup artist, and I was a makeup artist too. And I think Fashion Week was coming up. What was it? Was it Fall Fashion Week here in LA? And I was doing a lot of gigs out here. So I was like, well, if she wants to come out, I'll have her work with me during these fashion shows. And I didn't really think you guys were going to take me up on it, because I'll send invites and people are like, yeah, that's nice. And she actually came and spent a week here, and she became like my new BFF. And I felt like we did more things in 1 week than I felt like people probably experience in a lifetime, really. We went to Disneyland, first time to Disneyland. We went to fashion shows, Beverly Hills, everything. We did everything.
Oh, that's so cool.
She showed me, even though I'm taking her around, her zest and enthusiasm for life just lifted my spirit, just as joyful as she is, even though what she was going through at the time, just brought me to tears, helped me to not take time in this life for granted. So thank you guys.
Oh, absolutely. So excited to hear your story. So we want to hear what your life was like before Usana, some of the challenges, but also what's your life now thanks to your business, and kind of just some tips and some mindset to give people some strategies they can take with them into their day.
Yeah, sure. So when I first, before starting Usana, when I first got introduced to it, I think I was 19 years old when my friend's parents got me on the products, because I used to have a lot of a lot of acne, and I was actually, 30, almost 40 pounds overweight. And at that time, I wasn't really looking for a business. I was in the middle of going to school for massage therapy. And I normally tell this joke because when you're Filipino or you're Asian, your options are nursing or nursing. And it's still true to today. It's still nursing or nursing. But it's also kind of cool that I'm starting to notice more entrepreneurs because they know the one income's not gonna cut it. So I think I learned that early on. And that's why I wanted to be a massage therapist. I wanted to make my own hours right away. And so when I got introduced to Usana, I was thinking, I don't see it really as a business because I don't know who's going to buy anything from me. I'm super overweight. I'm only 19, a lot of acne. No one's going to buy this stuff. So I continued on with doing, pursuing massage therapy. I think a turning point for me, as I was using the Usana products for the next few years, I want to say people were starting to notice a difference with me, even though I wasn't selling it. I didn't consider myself as a Usana associate, more just like a customer. I think when I started working for a chiropractor, and I just started noticing, like, man, I'm working full time here and I'm trying to build my massage practice. I felt like someone else is dictating my time. I have to ask permission to go somewhere. And this is me already thinking these things that, like, I think I'm 20. I must be 20 years, a year later, right? And I decided I'm going to start building this business in some way because I started noticing my friends who decided to move forward with this. If you guys are familiar with Michael Callejas, I know everyone, he's a rock star, everyone knows him. He's the one that brought me into Usana. We were working across the street from each other at the time when I was doing massage therapy. He worked down the street as he was doing plumbing and electrical something. So I was working 60 plus hours a week. He was working 70 hours a week. So we would time our lunches around, like, and figure out, you know, when we can hang out. And I remember our lunch sessions were like daydreaming, like, what can we do? Like, do something else. Like, we're getting burnt out. Like, our highlight of the week was when we got off work early on Wednesdays to go to happy hour. I mean, that was it. And I saw him just jump right out the gate when he decided to build his Usana business. I want to say in the first 4 to 6 weeks, he hit gold. And for that, I was like, I don't know if I was so hesitant because we had an experience with another company prior that shut down on us. So I felt kind of burnt out, and I felt like, oh, I don't know if I can really do this. And it wasn't until I started seeing how there were spa parties. I think back then we had a skincare line called Sanse, and they had introduced the spa parties. So I was like, oh, party. I love parties. I could do this. So you can imagine I'm about to do my first spa party. I want to say maybe 6 months or so later from the first time I saw it. And Mike and his girlfriend at the time, they were supposed to do it for my friends at church. I asked some ladies from the pastor's wife, the deacon's wives during Mother's Day. And then an hour before the event, Mike just happens to call and flakes on me and says he has to go spend time with his mom and that you got to do this event on your own. I was like, I've never done an event before. I've never presented. I've never spoken. I was like, I've been trying to sign up people for this thing and no one wants to do this. And I'm about to quit. And I finally find something I want to do and you're going to flake on me. And he was like, yeah, you can do this. And we need 500 points, by the way. I was like, crap. I start crying. So I go to his house, I pick up the spa party bin. He's like, you got this, it's okay. I was like, you suck. And then I go to church and I do the event. And I remember being so nervous. Okay, imagine guys, I have no speaker training whatsoever. Everyone I've signed, I was about to quit like that week because everyone I brought to a meeting, to a health and freedom presentation at the time, would say no to me. And I felt like, man, what's wrong with me? No one wants to do this. Maybe I shouldn't do this. But I was like, I'm going to give this spa party a chance. So I hosted the spa party and led people through the facial just in the way I would as I'm washing my face in the bathroom. And I shared a little bit about the reset and a little bit about the vitamins. And I'm sure I mixed everything up. But this is such a testament to the Usana products and Dr. Wentz's vision. With 4 ladies and then a bunch of their kids and people watching at church, I sold over 1,200 points for the product. right after, because everyone bought the whole facial kit, everyone bought a reset, and everyone bought a health pack. That's probably more than 1,200 points. And ever since then, that showed me like, wow, it's not about me, and it's not about, I mean, the skill is important, but it just showed me like, I just have to trust the process and trust Usana that their products are good. And once again, I still don't have the results that I want yet. So what did I do? I gave testimonials about other people. I showed pictures of other people. I was trying to, I don't know if the right word is deflect, but try to paint a vision for other people. Like, this is a solution for you. Like, don't look at me yet. So that was a battle all throughout this journey. But that first spa party and those points led to a whole campaign of spa parties, because I realized this is something I can do, and this is something fun. And that was Mother's Day. So almost every week after that, I was doing spa parties. And when summer hit, I was at my prime. I was doing maybe 4 to 5 spa parties a week, averaging about 500 to 800 points. I went from director to silver, and gold a year later, and ruby a year after that. And all of my, and even within that, the next 2 years produced multiple rubies, multiple golds, emeralds. We produced rookie of the year. Even the youngest, I had a lot of Growth 100 people that came in, and also produced the youngest Growth 25 member. She still holds the record today. If you know someone named, her name's Trish Ignacio, and you can follow her on Instagram. She's a fitness trainer called Trish the Ish, and she's still building until this day. So I'm gonna wrap up my story here, but it hasn't been rainbows all along. It's been a crazy journey, and I worked really hard for those first 4 years. And imagine, I'm really young, making almost 6 figures already. I think I was about from 21 to 25. And then life happens, drama happens, and I kind of parked my business, and I didn't really build too much after that. I'll just say, to keep the story short, a boy broke my heart. It took me a long time to recover. And I decided to do other things too. I was building my makeup business at the same time. And this is what I love Usana. They really supported me as an entrepreneur. And Usana, Lori, started introducing me to all the diamonds and stuff. And I became like the makeup artist for a lot of events. And so even though if I was struggling in my Usana business, like, they were helping me with my other business. It was amazing. I found a way to marry them. And so it's been 10 years. I think I hit Ruby in 2010. And I'll be honest, it's not that I haven't had Ruby income this whole time, but I haven't had a full-time job. And for a long time, I didn't lift a finger, and I was blown away by the residual income that still comes. I was like, I have not missed a check. This is amazing. And so where am I at today? Thanks to Crystal and Felicia and Fernanda and these other ladies came up with an event called Sip and Scrub. Oh my gosh, that's brought me back to life, okay? We started, I think it was April when we started doing these events, and I learned from them really quickly. I decided, okay, let me branch out, and I'm just gonna start doing my events as well, and I just used the model that they had. I learned a lot from Jared. As well. All these years, Jared, I've been learning from you, man. I love how you just open, like, and you just adopt everyone. I felt like you adopted me as a little sister, and I've learned a lot from you. And that mindset I bring into other people, because in the past, I think in the culture, my business culture back then, when we have a good thing going, we weren't really sharing, and we were really young too. We kind of wanted to keep our culture like just for us, and we didn't want to share with people. But I felt so many more blessings and business and customers, clients come in, because I was looking at I decided to live from a place of abundance and a servant attitude of serving people. I switched my focus from sales per se to sharing and serving, and that's not about me, it's about other people. And Jared, you're such a huge advocate of that, and I learned a lot of that from you. So with these sip and scrubs, which I don't know if some of you guys haven't heard from it, please jump on one of those. Crystal is amazing when when I hear her speak. It's just so, I love that these events, you can really be yourself and be bubbly, and you can drink wine and lower your inhibitions, and It's just so fun. The first sip and scrub that I did, we're trying to play around with this. My income jumped up. Gosh, I want to say like 300%. My income jumped up 3 times. Is amazing just with my first sip and scrub, and it's allowed me to invite so many people to this Zoom call. So I'm seeing a revolution in my business. It's amazing. So that's such a powerful event. I hope you guys all join that. So I guess that's me kind of in a nutshell right now.
That is so exciting. I completely agree with the sip and scrub concept. And many people who are on right now and watching on Facebook Live have been using the sip and scrub parties as well.
Good.
And so it's cool though for them to hear your story, because you're also doing it outside of, you know, our team culture. You're doing it with your teams. Yeah. And it's exciting to see that everybody's growing right now.
Yes.
And just remember how much work it used to be to host a live event.
Oh.
Where you were just like, you felt like you're planning a wedding. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
Every time we had, like, you know, from putting out, you know, tables and tablecloths, and
yes,
I mean, you know, from being like almost like the staff that puts on the event, and then also the staff that cleans up the event,
yes,
and the salesperson that closes everybody. Oh, and the person that like puts in all the orders. Like we did everything.
Yes.
And we had to pay for the room.
It was more like you were a Usana employee than a Usana business owner.
And now with Zoom and like how it's set up, I mean, it's like we just turn on our computer and we just drink a glass of wine and we put up, you know, we mail them a trial. It's like we're in a golden age right now.
Yeah.
That's just really beginning. And I think it's breathed in new life to all of our businesses.
Yes.
You know, this sip and scrub thing is not going away. We're going to continue to do it because it brings too many people like with a soft invite, right? Like it's like such an easy sale to just get on, have a glass of wine and do a facial. Everyone wants to do that. So thank you for sharing that. That's also rejuvenated you. It is awesome to see you, you know, back in the trenches and also helping new people get started. I don't know. It's just really cool. So we're going to open it up for questions, Janelyn, for the last 10 minutes, if that's all right.
Sure.
And let's go to our first. And by the way, if you're watching on Facebook Live, type in your question. I'm watching here, and I will answer or ask her the question. If you're live on Zoom, you can type it in the chat. Suanne Knobloch says, how do you find people on social media to invite to the sip and scrubs?
When I started inviting for the sip and scrub, I don't think a lot of people I am on social media with, I have a lot of close friends still. So I was looking through even just my first immediate group of friends, because even associates, I think it's a great way to revive associates that are not active or haven't, or maybe they're just using the products. I actually started with that. I wanted to test out the sip and scrub thing. So the first event that I did, I was trying to ask old associates, I guess, or kind of like glorified customers. That's where I started. And then as I'm continuing on for these next few months, I do have a pretty big network of friends. So I do those memory joggers. I just made my list. I'm still continuing to add to my list. And I literally shoot out a text, which I started learning these scripts. So I'll read you guys a text that I do. Hold on.
So it sounds like it's warm market still. It's mostly.
Yeah, nothing has been cold market. Oh, actually the cold market, you know, I'll post it here in the chat later because it's taking me a while to find this. But.
Oh no, read it to us. Read it to us.
You want, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm still on my warm market, but my warm market, I also asked them, do you have anyone that lives in your house that you want me to send this to? Or do you have any sisters or girlfriends? I would want to do the facial event with you too. I'll send it to them. And then they end up inviting a lot of people that I don't even know, which adds to my network. And then I asked them, can you please do a group text and introduce me to them so I could start building rapport with them, because I don't want them to feel like, oh, they're just coming to this event. And then I'm going to just try to close them right after.
Smart.
Gosh, there's so many text messages. I'm trying to go through this. Oh, does that help you, Sue? I think to.
Yes.
Invite.
Well, I guess you can type in yes or no, Suanne.
But that's one thing too. If I notice if you're starting to kind of run low on your list, I do something called work your people's people. So be wiping everyone.
Work your people's people. I
Either,
like that.
I guess you can either look at it as you wipe them or you whip them.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm almost here at the text. My phone has blown up since last night's sip and scrub, so these texts start to get buried. Okay, here. This is what I normally tell people. So this is a warm market for me. I say, hey, Caitlin, I'm hosting a Zoom facial event and thought you might want to join me online for a fun girls' night in of skin pampering. We also play games and give out lots of prizes. I'm sending my friends mini facial kits. You just need to bring your favorite drink. And then I put the event. It's called Sip and Scrub, the date, the time. I'll send the Zoom link that day. Can you make it? And pretty much 100% of the time, they say yes.
Cool.
And that's it. That's it. Like, literally. And so as I'm training people to do this, I just send them this text because the invite should be really simple, right? Yeah. Like, I'm inviting them to a party. I treat it as a party. And I'm doing them a favor, right? You're stuck in quarantine, and so am I. Let's just be stuck together and do a facial.
Absolutely. We've been charging $8 for people to do it. Like they send it on Facebook Messenger or whatever, and that has actually really impacted our attendance and people showing up and stuff. Have you tried that, or are you just sending them out still for free, or like what's been your strategy?
Yeah, I haven't. That was so intriguing to me when you first introduced that to me. I was like, yes, to charge them because to put skin in the game. I think I just haven't jumped on it yet. I was still willing to give them free, but I've experienced enough flakes. I'm like, I think I should start charging, but we'll see. I think giving them as it's for free is still, I guess, working for me, an investment for me.
Yeah. Cool.
So I haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Great feedback.
I was going to ask you actually how that's working for you guys.
Yeah, so. It's really good. I mean, I will not, I'm to the point where I just don't care if they don't want to show. If they don't want to pay $8, then I mean, it's $8. Come on. You know? But when they do pay the $8, then it's like they show up. And you know, if somebody wants 2 of them, I charge them $16, even though it's going to the same address. Like value, you know, like they invested $16 and now they're going to show up because it's almost like $20, you know? You know, so yeah, it's definitely like, I won't go back at this point, you know, but yeah, give it a try, you know, see how it works on it. But what you're doing is already working. So it's just really just tweaks at this point. Right. All right. So our next question comes from Michelle Ellis in Arizona. She asks, how did you not lose motivation when you were getting all of your no's in the beginning? How did you not just throw in the towel?
Girl, I did. I lost motivation. I threw the towel every day. I cried all the time. Oh my gosh, it's the funniest thing. I want to say that, and I told this story to Jared before. Oh, actually, you can, if you look on YouTube, I think you guys have posted my story there. I remember the first, if I signed up, or if I decided to build my business, I think October of 2005. Mother's Day was, 8 months later? Those 8 months, I cried every day. And then Mike was like, he's so motivational, right? Everyone wants to work with him. And with me and us being as close as we are and me crying, there's no training on what to do when your associate starts crying. Right? So he would have me listen to Jim Rohn or listen to Les Brown, like whatever to motivate me. I mean, yes, I would lose motivation, but the dream, I never lost the dream. The dream was still there. And I think the practical application, the little things, as simple as putting your goals somewhere where you can see it, like that really helped. I would put it on 3x5 cards, post it on my everywhere that I could, so mentally that really helped me, because it's so easy to lose motivation. And that's where the commitment has to come in, right? Like going to the gym. Like I don't feel like going to the gym, but I know I need to go, so I'm gonna go even though I don't want to go. And the same mindset applies to this, because really it just takes that one yes to turn it all around. So if I can tell you guys a quick story, and I shared it last time too. what changed for me was the confidence when I got my first customer. Aside from my mom, because I felt like my mom doesn't count. She's always my customer. My first customer was actually a celebrity, if you guys are fans of the Black Eyed Peas. So Apple from the Black Eyed Peas, he's the Filipino one. He was my massage client, and that was another miracle in itself. Definitely God blessed me with him as a client. I remember when I was headed to his house, and I had just gotten another no the day before. The friend that I brought to it, first he said yes and got my hopes up, and then later that night they said no, and I started crying. And the next day I'm on my way. You're gonna see a theme. I cry all the time. I was going to his house, and I remember praying, and I was like, Lord, this Usana thing is just, I want to build it, it's not working. But if I can get Apple as a customer, then I'm going to continue. I'm going to stick with Usana. But if he doesn't want to be a customer, then I'm going to put Usana on the back burner, and I'm going to focus on being the band's massage therapist, because they're about to go on tour. So I wanted to go on tour with them. So I get to his house, and I look how beautiful this house is, and reminded me of my goals and my vision and my dreams. And I was like, I got to make Usana work in some ways. I just started praying and trusting God and trusting the process. And I went in there, and long story short, he became a customer. Like I was trying to think, how am I going to ask him? And he was the one that was talking, and he was telling me all these stories. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, what kind of question can I ask? And I felt like, I don't know if you guys are believers. I'm a very strong believer, and I believe in the Holy Spirit. And I felt like the Holy Spirit downloaded a question for me and told me to ask him, how does he stay healthy when he's on tour? I was like, okay. So I asked him that, and he said, I said, do you guys take vitamins when you're on tour so you can stay healthy? And he said, not yet, but we want to. And so my other friend comes in and says, oh, I'm going to get you guys on these vitamins. He saw them at Rite Aid or something. And I just jumped in. I said, no. Actually, I take these really good vitamins, and I can hook you up with a discount. And he goes, okay, can you send it to me on tour? And boom, just like that. And then we continued the rest of the massage. At the end of it, he asked me to bring him some vitamins. I went home, brought him back, and he bought for him and his crew over like $400 or $500 worth of product right there without looking at anything, because he could afford it, right? And he became a customer after that. And the next day, I went back to everyone that said no to me, and I was like, so I just got this. I don't know if this is really compliant to do, but I did it anyway. I did something called a stacking method at the time, and I took his account. I wasn't going to take the credit for the account, but I was going to stack it underneath my downline to sponsors. So I started stacking. Everyone that said no to me said yes. So if you can imagine, I went from no one bought this 1995 EBDS kit, and now they're buying pro packs. Like I want to say almost 10 in a row bought either some 3 Business Center, and these are all like $1,500 packages. Switched within a day to a week, and I went director that week. And I don't want to say it has to be a celebrity that has to do this. It's not. It's what changed me was my confidence, and just trusting the process of it. Because now I was like, oh, I'm just the hottest band in the world just said yes to me, but my friend that works at McDonald's is like questioning me. And then the doctor I worked for, I signed him up too. And from there, the chiropractors started calling me to sign up after that. Nurses from UCLA started calling me to sign up. It was insane. I wasn't even me calling people anymore. They're calling me because their friend told them. But I can't take credit for all of that. I just praise God for everything, for all the blessings. I was just being a conduit, I want to say. And once I switched my mindset to serving, but again, that motivation, I lose motivation daily, but you can bring the motivation back. You can gain it back. Sorry, that was like a long way to answer your question. I'm so passionate about it.
You know, I think some of the biggest takeaways I get is that number one, you prayed, like you asked the Holy Spirit for help. You also just kept like obviously by not quitting and by kind of like surrendering and continuing to take action, and like you had your breakthrough, and there was those dark times at the beginning where it seemed like hopeless, And so the big message is that if any of you are feeling like hopeless with your business right now, or like you've gotten so many no's for so long and you feel like hopeless about it, that if you keep going and you keep, and you ask for help, you ask the Holy Spirit for help, you give good effort, you stay faithful to the process, you can have your breakthroughs. And it's not going to look like Janelyn's. It's not going to maybe be like a musician that's famous, but it's going to be somebody who does something, right? Or something great like volume. I've never signed up like a famous musician, but we've done well too, so it's like everybody has like whatever blessing that will come. So really, really great information, Janelyn. Very inspiring to all of us. And we have one more question from Randy Krebs, my dad in Salt Lake City. He says, are you inviting a lot of guys to the Sip and Scrub? Are they receptive?
I wouldn't say a lot. I'm not specifically inviting guys yet, but the women I invite bring their significant other. And so that's how the men have been coming. I'm actually going to start inviting more guy friends, but I have so many women in my network still. So, but the other people that are speakers with me on the call, they're inviting men, but they tend to be like, they invite them as teams, like husband and wife. And last night, my friend's coworker, male coworker, she invited him, and then he's the one that invited people. Again, the wiping, right? Work your people's people. He invited 2 other couples, including other men. That was just our last night's call. And yes, they've been receptive. It's been fun.
Yeah, so true. Great advice. I've tried a alternate invite where it's like, hey, it's like a date night with your wife.
Yeah.
It's $16. Do a facial. Do you want to do it? And surprise her and do something fun with her, type of thing. So, really great advice. Well, Janelyn, thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule and being available last minute. Like, this is just such a blessing to have you today. And what's your final piece of advice that you want to give to everybody?
Yeah, no. Well, first of all, thank you. I mean, of course, I'll do this for you because I feel like my success right now, literally in this minute, is because of you and Crystal. Like, I felt like, again, you guys adopted me. I feel like I'm direct downline to you. So this is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. I owe you guys so much. Last piece of advice. Oh man, I think it still goes in line with the whole thing I talked about, motivation. I think just commit to the commitment. And with me, you talked about consistency earlier. I realized I was consistently inconsistent. Let's just kind of flip that. And even when you don't feel it, you choose to do it. I think it's almost kind of like when they say love. This is what I've learned recently about love. And a lot of people say that love is a feeling, but for me, I don't think it's just a feeling, because I could feel to not want to do things loving with my significant other or my husband or whatever. But I believe that love is an action and love is a choice, and that you choose to love even when you want to be unloving. So it's the same thing I feel in this business. I think choose to love people and serve people, because you guys, we are at war. There's the pandemic right now. We are at war, and you guys have ammo and weapons that you can help people. Because if it's inevitable, and I knock on wood that we're all affected in some way, right, for this pandemic, but if we can help people build their immune systems, and that's what the theme too of these Sip and Scrubs for me is, when I talk about the vitamins and stuff, and when I get to the reset and the probiotics, I tell them, you guys, hello, we're at war, right? You're not just binge watching on Netflix and continue to just gain this quarantine 15 weight. And from there, I realized, man, this thing is just have a vision bigger than yourself and stay committed to that. Love people, love others.
I got that recorded, that last one. I'm going to make a nice story. Just check Instagram later today. So, well, Janelyn, thank you again. So true. It is about love. It is about serving. It is about being consistent. I mean, all the things, but you really enveloped the message today. And I think for me, mostly sharing the hope, but because we all have those times when we feel like our business isn't growing, or you know, it seems like, oh, when am I going to have this breakthrough? I've been working so hard, like all those thoughts. And it's just such a mind game thing.
Yeah. One more thing that dawned on me as you were talking, what I pray for every day, I just pray for strength for today and hope for tomorrow. Because all I can do is deal with the issues for today. Who can I serve today? What can I do today? I don't want to worry about tomorrow anymore. Because what if tomorrow doesn't come? Because it might. We're not promised. But today, this moment right now is. The fact that you guys are all here, I feel this is all preordained. It's not an accident that the specific people that are on the call right now are listening to what we're talking about right now. So do what you can do today, because that's all you can do.
Ooh, so good. That's right. So who can you help today? Who can you bless today? Who can you invite to Sip and Scrubs today? Because they're next week. Thank you, Janelyn. So wonderful.
Thank you.
We love you. So good. Let's go ahead and unmute the lines and everyone say thank you, Janelyn, and have an awesome day.
Thank you, Janelyn.
Oh,
thank you, Janelyn. Have an awesome day. Thank you.
Have an awesome day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Janelyn.
God bless. Thank you.
God
See you
bless.
guys on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.